Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today we are doing They Are Already Here. It's a main story task, one of the ones required if you want to do the best ending in Escape from Tarkov. I'm going to be going through everything you need to know to get this task done. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so this main story task line will pretty much kick off the second you go into any of the marked rooms in Escape from Tarkov, and there's usually like a note somewhere around one of the marked rooms. So I found mine on the dorms marked room, but I definitely found it in one of the other ones as well. So once you go into one of the marked rooms, you'll find a note that says Eye of the World, or it opens up the Eye of the World quest line. Once you've done that, you need to head into Lighthouse and make sure you equip your audio recorder, because this will save you the pain and suffering that if you die, once you listen to tape, you don't have to go back, kind of thing. So head into the Lighthouse. You want to go to the little sunken village bit that's located between the main village and the water treatment plant, and it's the house closest to the hillside or to the mountains on the path to Shoreline end. When you go into that house, there is like a full murder scene or like a cultist death scene, and what you're looking for is two things. One, the cult victim's apartment key, which is like 100% spawn chance. So if it's missing, someone's already taken it. There's probably about 4 locations for you to find that key. I'll have obviously the videos up of when I've found it a couple of times, but yeah, there is probably 4 locations for that. It is definitely in that room, and then there is a tape to listen to. Pick up the tape, listen to the tape, and that will progress the quest line. Now, once you've got that key, put it in your bum or obtained it however you like, you will then need to head over to Streets of Tarkov. Now, this apartment is located kind of behind Stylobat. It's really close to one of the spawns that you'll get. I don't really know the best way of explaining it more than if you were to go to the car extract, that main road, all the way down the very other end of the map. So the complete opposite end of the car extract road, like the tram line that goes through the center or whatever it is, the complete other end of that is on the side alley that has a couple apartments at the end of that. So once you go inside that side alley on the left-hand side, go inside the apartment complex, and then you'll be able to open the door. Once you've opened the door, there is a breach room inside there. Once you're inside the breach room, there is 2 books or notepads to read and also a tape to listen to. Once you've done all this, you need to go speak to Mechanic. Now, after speaking to Mechanic, he'll tell you need to kill 2 Cultist Priests. This has been a lot of difficulty for a lot of people, but it's definitely something you need to get done to progress this questline. Now, I'm going to go through all the locations that the Cultists spawn, and then I'll give you my tip on where I think you should go personally. But at the moment, it stands as Woods is 30%. There's 2 locations on Woods that they spawn. One is the west-hand side of the lumber mill, so that's in the outskirts side, or the rundown village, which I usually call like the sunken village. 50-50 chance if they're going to spawn between those 2. And that's the 30% chance. There's a 25% chance they spawn on customs. That is near Stronghold. They pretty much are between Stronghold and Crack House. Sometimes they can be on the old gas side, but yeah, generally speaking, that's where they are. I have seen them once over hidden behind Crack House. Next up, we've got Shoreline, 25% chance. There's a 20% chance they'll be in the west wing, 20% chance they'll be in the east wing, and then a 60% chance they're between I guess there's like a road that's between past the Lighthouse and the resort, kind of near the sunken village, and they hang out around there as well. That's where I actually killed them when I got my second kill. Now, there is a 2% chance you can kill them on Nighttime Factory, and then also Ground Zero when you're in the high level Ground Zero. Nighttime Factory, they're in the water area where there's a technical supply crate, and Ground Zero, pretty much anywhere in the map I've seen them, where the Terror Group building is, Emicon, and also down through the middle and towards the Nakatani Tower side. So yeah, there's no real possibility to farm on Ground Zero. Now, this is my honest thoughts and opinion. The cultists at the moment in the game are spawning marked keys, colored key cards. They are really, really, really well geared. I have not had more sus deaths than when I've been trying to kill cultists, particularly on nighttime customs. So they spawn between, I think it's 10 o'clock and 7 a.m. and everyone nighttime customs is pretty much farming these. So if you want to go customs and run your risk of going through all that kind of stuff, I tried to do it recently a few times, and it was pretty much 4 to 5 players running it every single time. I went into nighttime customs and it was a cluster. Like, it was just so much stuff going on. I would just avoid customs completely and then pick your battle between either Woods or Shoreline. If you can punish yourself and go to those maps instead, I think you're going to have a higher success chance of when you actually do find them, you actually get to, like, when they're actually in the raid, you actually get to kill them instead of having to fight every player in the map to try and actually get an opportunity to shoot at one. So that's my personal opinion. I would recommend going Woods or Shoreline. I think Shoreline's probably the easier option. Sometimes you're going to get a bad spawn, but it is what it is. This is Tarkov. You play the RNG game of Tarkov. Now, the good thing is, once you have killed them, and if you are lucky enough to loot them, you'll probably get a couple of marked keys out of them, which is great because you're going to have to go into one of the marked rooms to progress the quest line. Now, I'm pretty sure when I did this, I did it in one of the reserve RBBK or VO rooms. There was a note inside one of them, but there is also, it can spawn or will spawn inside the Mark 314 on customs. So I believe the notes are probably in every single marked room. But yeah, you need to get into one of the marked rooms and pick up the note after you've killed the 2 priests. Once you've got the note out of the marked room, you're going to have to do 3 things. You're going to have to go Lighthouse, Woods, and Shoreline. First up on Lighthouse, you have to find a note in the bottom chalet. It's upstairs on the first room on the right. There's like a balcony section with a big board, and you'll see all the cultist squiggles, and it's located at the bottom of the board. Then you also need to go get the key located on the ATV outside by the garage. Now over to Woods at the sunken village, there is a building you need to get inside of, and inside there'll be newspaper clippings that you need to pick up and read. Once you've read that will progress the quest. Then last but not least, you need to head over to Shoreline. It's pretty much the little radar tower. So there's if you were doing Signal Part 3 and you got to put the jammers on the 3 things, there's the roof of Shoreline, there's the big radar dome, and then there's that little communication tower or like an antenna. Next to that, there's a new hut that's actually been opened. Once you find the hut, pretty much walk down the hill. From the hut, there'll be a dead body on the ground. You need to read the note from the body that's located in their hand. And then you need to head back up to the tower with a tool set, and then you need to repair the tower. It takes about 60 seconds. Now, once you've done the Shoreline part, you've done all 3 sections of the Eye of the World, and then you need to go back to Mechanic and have a yap with him. Now, Mechanic is going to give you an ability to craft a pass. This takes about 6 hours if you don't have max level crafting. And then this will give you access to a location within Interchange. Now, once you have your pass, I'd highly recommend buying a flash drive, just a normal flash drive, and bringing it into Interchange. And you need to head to the power station. Once you get to the power station, you need to turn the power on. And there's a new little room. There's a little staircase or path that goes downstairs, and then there's a swipe card that opens up a doorway. Once you're inside, you need to flip the switch inside the cooling room, place the flash drive in the servers. After you've placed the flash drive for 30 seconds, the safe will open. You need to pick up the tape from within, listen to the tape, survive, and extract from the raid. Now, once again, you need to go back into Interchange and then go back to the power station. Once you're back at the power station, you need to do the exact same things pretty much as previously. Turn the power on. You need to read the note mentioning the button underneath the desk. Go into the little side room. Underneath the desk, there is like a little button you can press. Press that button, pick up the flash drive that's located inside the server, and then survive the extract the raid again. After you've done this the second time, or done the second lot of stuff on Interchange, you talk to Mechanic, you pass him the USB stick, and then you'll receive a document as a message from Mechanic. After reading that document, you will complete the storyline for They Are Already Here. Now, a thing to note about this one is that underground area actually does have some loot in there. I'm pretty sure I found some intelligence, and there's some computers to loot and stuff like that. So it is actually like an extra bonus little area to be able to loot. So it's probably worth trying to get this one done earlier rather than later in your playthrough, because it just gives you an extra location to loot on Interchange. All right, so that is it for They Are Already Here. Hopefully you found this guide useful. Trying to put out all the main story task guides. I'm going to be doing a lot of the new player stuff. My aim is to try and get all the guides up to date for 1.0, so we've got a fresh, clean slate. Make sure if you've got friends that are new to Tarkov, share them all my new player playlist and the guides to help them get through all their worrying times in Tarkov, because it's honestly a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. We've got plenty more of these to come out. And lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.